Imagine the Royal Canadian Mounted Police goes on TV and says, "We failed you," and the Canadian government has to set aside about $100 million, and you're the person who made it all happen. Why? Follow the trail back to one voice in a red surge. This is Catherine Galliford's story, The Fearless Echo. Now, hit rewind. It's 1991. Catherine joins the RCMP, bright-eyed, sharp, determined. Fast forward a few years and she becomes the spokesperson for the Mounties in British Columbia. This is not some low-key role. She's the face you see on TV during some of Canada's biggest criminal cases. The Air India bombing trial? Catherine. The Missing Women's Task Force investigating dozens of vanished women in Vancouver's downtown East Side? Catherine. The early days of the Robert Picton pig farm case? Yep, Catherine at the podium. She's polished, professional, and literally the voice of the RCMP. This was a massive job, and anyone would be happy in her position. Except, here's the kicker. Instead of being laser-focused on catching killers, Catherine notices her colleagues are focused on her. And not in the good job corporal way. In a harassment type of way. According to Catherine, it was harassment city. Crude comments, pressure to party, constant sexist jokes, even outright sexual advances from senior officers. And remember, this is while they're supposed to be investigating the worst serial killings in Canadian history. One officer allegedly told her, "We can either go after Picton or we can go for beers." Guess which one they usually picked. Then, that could have been the end of the story. Another officer chewed up and spit out by the system. But Catherine? Yeah, she wasn't going just fade away quietly. In 2011, oh man, Catherine drops the hammer. She goes public in a big way. She blows the whistle and tells Canada exactly what it's like on the inside of the Mounties. She sits down with the media and lays it all out. The harassment, the toxic culture, and how the RCMP basically let a serial killer keep operating because they couldn't get their act together. She names names. She describes years of abuse. She even talks about stalking and pornography being shown at work. It's jaw-dropping stuff. And the RCMP? They do what most big institutions do in these situations. They deny, they downplay, and they whisper that maybe she's just unstable. The Mounties PR team must have been in cardiac arrest because, remember, this is their own former spokesperson. The woman they trained to make them look good is now telling the country, yeah, it's rotten in here. So in 2012, she files a lawsuit. In BC Supreme Court, suddenly she's not just telling her story, she's dragging the whole RCMP into the spotlight. And here's where it gets big. Catherine's courage cracks the dam. After she speaks out, hundreds of other women, officers, civilian staff, you name it, come forward with their own horror stories. By 2016, there's a full-blown class action lawsuit led by this lady, Janet Merlo. And the government cuts a settlement deal worth up to $100 million. That's $100 million of taxpayer money just to pay for the RCMP's failure to protect their own employees. Meanwhile, Catherine files her own civil lawsuit in 2012, citing years of harassment, sexual assault, stalking, and intimidation. She fights her way through it and eventually settles in 2016, walking away with a medical discharge. But let's be real, it was a hollow victory. She lost her career, her health, and even her home in the process. And here's the gut check ending. Catherine Galliford never got that triumphant movie-style justice moment. She lived with PTSD, alcoholism, and agoraphobia for the rest of her life. And then, on August 15th, 2025, in Kamloops, BC, Catherine passed away at just 58 years old from liver cancer. Her legacy? She proved that sometimes upholding the law means standing up to the very people wearing the badge. So yeah, next time you see the Mounties in their bright red uniforms and shiny boots, remember this. Catherine Galliford's voice was the RCMP's greatest asset, until she used it against them to empower hundreds like her. That might just be her greatest legacy.
Subscribe to our channel if you want more voices that history almost forgot.